Hi there, parents. Welcome on behalf of Big Life Journal to our back to school video, specifically recorded for our Negative Self-Talk Masterclass series participants. I'm Melissa Benaroya. I am a licensed therapist, author. I'm the parent of two, and I'm also the founder of the Childproof Parenting Academy. We wanted to connect with you today because there are lots of big emotions around the back to school season, and many children are feeling lots of feelings of fear, concern, worry, and anxiety. And we wanted to share some tips with you on how to start your child's school year off right and build that positive internal dialogue for your child. Now, we've heard from lots of parents that their children are already bringing up some of their concerns and worries about going back to school in person, feeling concerned about being capable, performing in class, meeting new friends, reconnecting with old friends, just being out of the home. So there's a lot going on for our kids, and I wanted to share some tips with you to help you guide your child through this process so they can start the year off right. So first of all, I think it can be really helpful to talk to our children and empower our children with the information around why they are feeling this way, and just sharing with them how our brain is wired to protect us. And anxiety, which is produced in the amygdala, where the fight or flight response exists in our brain, is there to protect us. And though going to school really isn't a threat to our children, many times the brain interprets it this way. So it's nice to know that our brain is there to keep us safe. So it can be helpful to children to understand that these feelings are really there to keep us safe, but sometimes our brain gets a little excited and overactive. So better understanding why we're feeling this way can be really helpful to children. One other thing that can be really helpful is just listening to our kids, giving them the space to share those thoughts that are coming up for them, the feelings that they're feeling. And when they do share, we paraphrase and reflect it back to them so they know that they are heard and understood. And we can empathize at the same time with how hard it is to go back to the setting, to return to in person, to have to sit in a chair all day. So just being mindful that we open some space to listen, we paraphrase and empathize with how they're feeling. Now, as they share, it can be very helpful for us as parents to help them separate the two things that they're sharing. And there's two things that come up in any dialogue. There are facts and there are stories. And usually what our children are responding to when they're feeling concerned, anxious, and worried is they're responding to the stories that they're creating. So I think just separating out in our conversations with our kids, what are the facts? The facts are school starts on Tuesday, right? So the stories that we create about the facts tend to create a lot of big emotions. The facts themselves don't create that stress response, the worry, the concern, the anxiety. So I think just as we move through our conversations with kids, just focusing on what the facts are and helping them differentiate what the stories are at the same time. Now, as we move through this season of back to school, it's also helpful just to focus on the positive. So they may be bringing up some worries and concerns, but we can also jump into the conversation and ask about what they're most excited about or what is new that they may be looking forward to. I think so just being really positive when we approach these conversations in general can be helpful. And also just being mindful of how we're showing up. So if we're showing up nervous and like, so what are you thinking about this school year? Our nervous emotion is contagious and our child's gonna feel contagious. So if we flip-flop that and we're really excited and interested and positive about this new school year and this new experience, our child will be too. So just being mindful of the questions we're asking, how we're asking them, and then our general feeling about back to school in general and how that will influence our kids. So a few things to think about, I think, every year at the start of the year is getting back into routine and putting some structure in place. And some easy ways to do that is thinking about meal times and bedtime. Sleep is a tough one, especially during the summer months because we let things go a little bit. But getting back on track and starting some routine a week or two before school starts will be really helpful. In addition to thinking about the routines, also maybe pulling back on screen use if that increased over the summer months as well. We tend to get a little bit more lax during the summer months, but now that we're moving on, I think transitioning a little bit earlier before the back to school day will help our kids navigate this transition with greater ease. Lastly, one thing that we can do with little kids that I think can be really beneficial is giving them opportunities to practice without pressure. So number one, practice without pressure happens when we go through a morning routine to get out the door, even if we're not going to school this morning, or walking to school, or just spending some time on the playground at the school that our child will be spending time at. So the more that we can expose them to what they'll typically be experiencing and where they're going to be going, it can tend to de-escalate some of those negative thoughts and feelings for our children. Now, before you go, I want to invite you to our Build Your Child's Frustration Tolerance Masterclass Early Bird List. We are going to be focusing on how to help our children overcome some of those frustrating moments and feelings to build their resilience and tolerance of tough moments. So I hope you'll join us for that, and you'll see a link below. I'm Melissa Benaroya. I am very excited for this school year. I hope you are too, and I wish you a very safe and positive school year. Take care. Bye for now.